How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? It is what day is it? Wednesday, and it's August 13th. It's Wednesday, August 13th. I should know that. My daughter's birthday is tomorrow, August 14th. What is going on? The Niners, they keep signing these camp bodies. Players get hurt. It's a revolving door. We got more today. Let's talk about it. How the hell is everybody doing? I didn't go to training camp today because there wasn't no training camp, and open training camps are done. So I actually had to go to work today. Not fun. I'm like so exhausted. I forgot what it's like to go back to, real job. I don't know, how do you guys do this? How do you guys go to work every day? Not for me. Anyways, what's up, everybody? How are we doing? The Niners made some moves today. Let's talk about it, shall we? Gio, thank you. Thank you. I'll tell her you guys all said happy birthday. She's freaking to me, 17 tomorrow. I can't believe it. High school senior. It breaks my heart to seeing her grow like that. But whatchamacallit, we're not worried about that. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about 49ers and their signings. It's crazy. It's a revolving door. You know how the offseason goes. Training camp, you need bodies, and everybody's like, they need to sign Amari. They need to sign Gabe Davis. They need to sign OBJ. They need to make sure they have bodies to get through training camp and preseason. They'll worry about veterans if they have to when the cut down days come, August 26th. They got some major injuries. They'll figure it out. Veterans don't need as much time to prepare. And, these guys are just there for, camp bodies. And, let's just say they wanted to get like Amari Cooper. They'll have 2 weeks to prepare and get, acquainted to the offense. So, I mean, it's not the worst case scenario, but I don't think they're going to sign anybody like that. They're hoping that Pearsall is going to be ready to roll, which he is, and be fully healthy. They're hoping Jacob Cowing is. They're hoping Juwan Jennings. We don't know. But as long as those three guys are healthy week one, I think we'll be okay. Demarcus Robinson will probably miss a few games with the suspension, then he'll come back. And by the time midseason walks around, you should have Brandon Ayuk. So do they need a receiver? Yeah, it would help. But I don't think the Niners want to spend crazy amount of money for a veteran, because this is the other thing. Here's the other dilemma. I don't think people are thinking about it. Like, yes, you need a receiver. Yes, it'd be nice to have Amari Cooper. Yes, it'd be nice to have like a veteran like that. That's pretty good. But it'd be a slap in the face to Juwan Jennings, who's trying to get an extension. Imagine you sign Amari Cooper, right? And you give him, I don't know, $13 million. That's what Juwan Jennings probably wants. And he's going to be like, okay, you go sign this veteran. I know we need help. Well, now you're paying him more than me, and I'm supposed to do more than him on this team. It's a little bit of a slap in the face. So I feel like the Niners have a dilemma on their hands here, which they always do. But anyways, let's talk about who the 49ers signed, because we could sit here and talk about who they didn't sign all day until we're blue in the face, but it doesn't matter. 49ers signed Malik Turner, former 49er. They signed Malik Turner, and he's been on the team before. He knows the system. At this point, you're getting guys that are camp bodies that don't need too much seasoning on the team, right? If you're going to sign someone, you just need someone that understands the system, the concepts. Malik Turner's been on the Niners. I think it makes sense. They had to put Bradlee Anae on the injured reserve to make room for him. He was the edge rusher who was on the UFL last year. He led the UFL with pass rush win rate. He had 3 pressures in the preseason opener. He looked promising. He looked like he could be a guy that can make the practice squad. Robert Saleh liked him, but you gotta get guys out there if you're going to bring people in. We need a receiver. Bradlee Anae, unfortunately, they put him, off the team. They had to do something. They had to move him, and they put him on the injured reserve to free up that roster spot. Now maybe he got hurt on that game, so it's unfortunate. So you give it, you take it the way, and that's exactly what happened. Malik Turner, like I said, former player on this team. He understands the system. You're just trying to get bodies through training camp. You're just trying to get guys through the preseason game. And Malik Turner, is he going to make the 53-man roster? No. Can he make the practice squad? Maybe, depending on who else you have left over after you cut your rosters down from 90 to 53. So at the end of the day, it's a guy that knows the system. They worked out a whole bunch of guys yesterday, and he was the one that they brought back, because they probably were like, well, he's the most familiar with our system. There's not going to be too much to showcase and train this guy in to bring in Malik Turner. So that's what they did there. And then they worked out a trio of defensive linemen. They signed 2. They worked out Keyshawn Banks, William Bradley King, and Damone Harris. They signed Damone Harris, and they signed William Bradley King. So they need guys. We just talked about they got rid of Bradley and A. Sam O, he's on the PUP list. He's going through injury. Well, not on the PUP list, but he's going through an injury. YGM, he's on the PUP list. He's got an injury that he's rehabbing back from. We said Kevin Givens has the pec injury. No, Kevin Givens has the pec injury. Sam O is injured. YGM is injured. Yetur Gross-Matos. And Michael Williams has the hyperextended knee. So they needed some defensive linemen, some edge rushers. So it makes sense that they'd go out and sign 2 defensive linemen there. So Blood Moon says, YGM, he gone. I don't think he makes his 53-man roster. This man can't stay healthy. He's about as a lock to make this team as I am, and that's not good. Blood Moon says, tell those fools to get stretch. Christine says, it's hard to believe your daughter's a senior. I know. Trust me. S. Flood he said, the next signing will be Dante Johnson. Get the band back together. Yo, they need to bring back 9 Lives. Did his lives run out? My cat looked at me like his lives ran out. Like, cat probably thinks I'm talking about cat lives, like some friend of hers or something. No, dead ass. The cat looked at me when I said 9 lives. Did his lives run out? Cat's like, shit. Cat's not happy about that one. You good? You good, girl? Yeah, Dante Johnson, maybe his lives ran out because he has not been anywhere remotely close to his team. I know he blew out his knee 2 years back. That was unfortunate. Dondre says Yetur Gross-Matos needs to be shipped off. I don't think they're bringing him back. I mean, he's been literally more hurt than he's been able to play on this roster. He has talent, but that's always been his knock, is staying healthy. Just like Ben Bartch. The Niners bring in people that have talent. They can't stay on the field, man. And I feel like I know a lot of people want Gabe Davis, and I've said this a few times. I'm not one of those guys that want Gabe Davis. I think he's a good player. I think he's a very underrated receiver. He's had good times in his career. He played for the Bills with Josh Allen, but he's got a bad knee injury he's coming off of. He had surgery. I feel like if the 49ers were to get Gabe Davis, we'd all be pissed off because he's going to miss several games due to issues with it. I really don't feel like he's a strong guy to bring in at this point in his career because of the knee injuries. I hope somebody else takes a risk on him. That's a risk that I don't want the Niners to take. If they are going to get a veteran receiver, I would go Amari Cooper at this point. So Dondre said, what's the return on Michael Williams? They're saying he's going to miss this week, should be back next week. I wouldn't be surprised if they hold him out another week and then just make sure he's ready for week 1, because hyperextended knee can be a little tricky, can be pretty painful, and it could lead to other, knee issues. So at least this week, he's gone this week, they'll reevaluate him and maybe he'll be back next week. So Christine says, is there any starters playing this Saturday? They haven't really announced it yet. I don't know if too many starters are going to play because they have a joint practice on Thursday tomorrow. And that's usually really good for the starters to get, good reps, good film, good opportunities, good practice in. That's almost like, equivalent to a game for Kyle Shanahan to get those joint practice reps. It's a lot of work. That joint practice against the Broncos, the starters did so much work, and they had a lot of film, a lot of action. So I feel like they may not play the starters on Saturday against the Raiders. I think the dress rehearsal is going to be week 3, the preseason week 3 against the Chargers, but I could 100% be wrong. Usually, we'll see what Kyle wants to do, but I don't know. I think because they're having a joint practice this week, I don't think we're going to see a lot of starters. That's my take on it. But I think maybe against the Chargers, you'll do a series or 2 with the starters because they don't have joint practice next week, and you really need to have that dress rehearsal. You need to tune up the band, so to speak. So we'll see. Appreciate you, EB. Green tomorrow. Are there any media going to be at the joint practice? Yeah, the media is going to be there, like the beat writers, but we'll get some content from them a little bit. We'll get some. We'll get something. We'll get some. I wish I was there. I really do. I wish myself or Brad wish we were there and getting that joint practice footage, man. But we're not. So let's see. Yeah, the media should be there, but it's not an open practice. You have to have credentials to be at this practice tomorrow. But yeah, joint practice. I'm sure there'll be some content from the Niners social page, all that good stuff. But it's going to be another big time practice with another team. That's really good for the 49ers in their film and everything, and to see, other team strategies, etc. So good opportunity for them. I don't know how long it's going to be. That Broncos one was very long. Again, it was first preseason, heading into the first preseason game. Niners also have to worry about these injuries. In the past, they've canceled a lot of joint practices. So it'll be interesting to see how long they practice for tomorrow. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. Niners made some signings. We discussed that. They got Malik Turner. They signed a couple of edge rushers. And wait for tomorrow's joint practice. There's another report. Let's talk about this. The Niners are let's see, what is it? They're the fifth. Is it the fifth most valuable franchise in the NFL? Let's see. The 49ers are the fifth most valuable team in the NFL. They're valued at $8.6 billion, according to Sportico. The most valuable franchise are the Cowboys at $12.8 billion. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of B's in the bank account, not M's, B's. Rams at $10.43 billion. The Giants at $10.25 billion. The Patriots at $8.76 billion. And the Niners at $8.6 billion. That's a lot of money. Niners are worth so much, man. It's a lot of money these guys are worth. Jesus. Unbelievable. Flood says, have I seen the new jerseys? You've probably seen them you've seen as much of the jerseys as I have. I wish I've seen the jerseys. I couldn't tell you what they look like. I've seen the teasers. I don't know. I haven't seen them. They won't show me. Won't show nobody. They're keeping them under wraps. Keeping them under wraps. I don't know. We'll all get to see these jerseys on August 28th. We're getting closer, ladies and gentlemen. We got literally 2 weeks until we see these jerseys. August 28th, we're going to see these jerseys. We're either going to be pissed off or we're going to be hyped up on these jerseys. You're going to love them or buy them, or you're going to hate them and not want them. So we'll see. 2 weeks until you figure out what these jerseys look like. We all have been waiting, says Christine. We've been waiting for 2. They should have dropped the ball on this, man. Nike Elite jerseys, you guys dropped the ball. Rivalry. Why do I keep calling them Elite? Nike Rivalry dropped the ball on this, man. They really did. Really dropped the ball on this whole situation. Milwaukee Niner says, I just hope they're not as horrendous as the on-field hats. I just hope they're not bad jerseys. I really hope they're pretty cool. I mean, I know they're going to be like these sleek. I know they're going to be like trying to make them like more modernized and sleek. And I get it. But I just hope they don't look I hope they just don't look dumb. That's it. I want them to look really good. Because you look good, you feel good. Top secret. Yeah, they feel like they're top secret. They're just hitting. Nobody knows what these jerseys you look at. So, Flood says he's got a feeling it's going to be gold theme. I don't know if I like that. I don't know. I've heard black and gold. We'll see. We can't really know until we see them. So I'm going to not judge them. I'm not going to sit here and say, that jersey is going to be terrible until I see them. If they like them, I like them. If you don't like them, you don't like them. And some people aren't going to like them regardless. Some people are going to love them regardless. Some people love everything the Niners do. If I don't like them, I'll tell you straight up. If I like it, I'm going to tell you straight up. So we'll see. Nothing else. Nothing too crazy. That's pretty much the news of the day. A day off for the 49ers. They signed some players on their off day, so it was nice to get a little bit of news. Other than that, not much going on. Hopefully we get some good news tomorrow. 49ers return to joint practice. Bernardo Green, maybe he'll come back. He was supposed to return this week against the Raiders. They got one more practice on Thursday, and I would assume maybe Green returns this week. But if he doesn't return this week, I'd expect Bernardo Green to come back next week sometime. He seems like he's close. I've seen him at training camp. He's been running on the side field. He's been doing a lot of rehab. He looked okay. He looked honestly the same as Jacob Cowing, but obviously I don't know how he reacted to the training camp because I wasn't there after training camp. But seeing him rehabbing, and because he was doing a lot of the same stuff that Jacob Cowing has, because obviously they're probably the same protocol because they're rehabbing the same injury, a hamstring. They did a lot of the same drills, similar drills, and Bernardo looked just as moving just as well as Jacob Cowing. So I would assume Bernardo Green's pretty close to coming back. If not this week, he's definitely coming back early next week. That's my take on it, just from my assessment of him running. I can do that. I'm a PT. So let's see. Dan says, I hope Bernardo Green and Michael Williams come back around the same time. Yeah, I hope they come back within the next week or so. We need them both. We need them both to be healthy. We don't really need them in the off, like training camp preseason. We don't necessarily need him, Ronaldo Green and Michael Williams, to win a preseason game. It doesn't matter if we win those games, but they're valuable reps, but also, to get their legs under them, but also to make sure they're going to be ready for week 1. We want to make sure those guys are ready for week 1. We need all hands on deck, all starters. And if they can get a little bit more practice in and a little bit more conditioning, then that's good. So we'll see. Anyways, you guys have a good rest of your day. Take care. Love you. You don't have to go home, but you have to get the heck out of here. As always, go Niners.